The Tale of a Patter Rabbit. Once upon a time, there were four little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Patter. They lived in their mother in a sad bank underneath the root of a very big tree. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the field or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. Miss Cotton. Your father had an accident where he was put in a pipe by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into a mischief. I am going out. Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker. She bought a loaf of brown bread and five currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little buns, and went down to the lane to the gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. Gorgeous garden and squeezed under the gate. First he ate some clashes and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes, and then feeling rather sick, he went to look at some parsley, but around the end of a camber's frame, who full should be the meat, but Garcia. Mr. Garcia was on hand on his knee planting out of the young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after a Peter waving a rag off and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbage, and the other shoe amongst the potato. After losing them, he ran on four legs and went into faster, so that I think he might have got away altogether if he had not unfortunately run into the gooseberry net and got caught by the large button on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with the brass buttons good now, and Peter gave him himself for the loss and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrow, who flew to him to great excitement and implored him to the accept himself. Mr. McGregor came up with the save which is intended to pop upon the top of Peter, but Peter rallied it out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him, and rushed into the two ship and jump into the can. For it would have been a beautiful thing to hide in this if it has not had so much water in it. Miss McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed and parapets hidden under a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each. Presently Peter sneezed crusty shoes, and Mr. Gusher was after him in no time, and tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out of the window and upsetting the planet and three planets, and the window was too small for Mr. Gusher. He was tired of running after Peter. He went back into this work. Peter sat down to the rest. He was out of the breath and trembling with the fight. He had not the last idea which way to go. Also, he was very dumb with the sitting on that. After a time, he began to wander about the going the lapagit not very fast, and looking all around. He found door in a wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. An old mouse was running in an out order over in the stone doorstep and carrying peas and beans to their family in the wood. Petrus asked her for the way to the gate, but she had as a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her dead head at him. Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way to straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently he came to be a pond where Mr. Gazir filled as a water can. A white cat was staring at some goldfishes, and she sat very still about now and then. A tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from the cousin, little Benjamin Penny. He went back toward the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of her scratches. Peter searched under not the bushes, but presently, as nothing happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and a peep over. The first thing is Mr. Geiger hewing onions. His back was turned toward Peter, and behind him was the gate. Peter got down very quickly off the wheelbarrow and started running fast so he could go along a straight walk behind some black currant bushes. Mr. Gurger caught sight of him to the corner, but Patrick did not care. He slipped underneath the gate and he was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Mr. Gary hung up with a little jacket and the screw and to frighten the blackbird, and Patrick never stopped running or looked behind him till he got home to the big fire tree. He was so tired that he was flopping down upon the nice soft and sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. And his mother was busy cooking. She wondered what had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and a pair of shoes that Peter had lost in the forgotten. I'm sorry to say that Peter was not very well during the evening. His mother put him to bed and made him some chamomile tea, and she had a dose of the batter and 1 tablespoonful to be taken at bedtime. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. And thanks for watching first. Reddit Story Channel. Subscribe it.